everybody. I am excited. Another NMD sharing her wisdom. And this morning is the beautiful Jess Schembri. I know that she has been sitting here waiting patiently. My phone decided to freeze this morning, so just reset that. Here we go. Here she is. I'm just going to add her in here. Let me just go. Oh, moving. Add Jess onto the camera. Hey, gorgeous girl. All right, let's see. It's adding. I hope you've been going backwards and checking out all of the wisdom that we have. Really, really exciting. I know the last 4 or 5 days since last Thursday, we've had some awesome what have we got? We've had some awesome wisdom coming through. Why is this just still adding? What's going on? Let's have a look. What's going on with Facebook? It's adding. How are we going, Jess? Can you see that? Can you see what's happening there as well? Maybe I cancel it and try it again maybe. Let's just cancel that. Is it letting me cancel? Okay, I'm just going to try adding you again. What's going on? Maybe I have frozen again, have I? Frozen again? Oh no, we're getting some things here. Hey Nisha, how are we going? Alrighty, I'm going to try again. Let's have a look here. I'm going to approve. Here we go. Now, is it doing something? Now it says it's adding. Now it's connecting. Yay!
Hey. I couldn't see it come up before.
Oh, it's just kept going, adding. I'm going, what's going on?
We're here now.
Oh gosh, I love technology when it works, but it's been interesting. I'm learning so much. That's the good thing.
I know. It's awesome, isn't it?
It is. It really, really is. And first thing I want to say, with a little Bubba, you are looking gorgeous, girl.
Oh, thank you. I did just do this just for you, Celine.
Oh, thank you.
I normally look like a sweaty mess.
No, you're doing awesome. And I got to have cuddles last week, so I was really kind of quite actually.
And he's asleep behind me, so let's hope he stays that way.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's.
Otherwise, we'll have Leo in here too.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. He's very, very cute. So let's show Jess lots of love and hearts and all that as well, guys. That she's on here sharing with us. And again, it just shows you can do the business. Here I am shouting. We'll probably waken Leo with my noise.
That's okay.
But Bubby's in the background asleep, and we are just killing it here with lots of wisdom. So Jess, first of all, just share. So how long have you been in Juice Plus, and how long have you been a national marketing director?
Okay, so I've nearly been in the business for 2 years. I think it's like May that I joined. So nearly 2 years. Awesome. And I'm just trying to remember when I went NMD. Gosh, I think it was, Ryan would know, he's always onto my date. I think it was January. No, it was December. Yeah. So I'd been in the business for about 14 months, I think, when I hit NMD, something like that.
Absolutely.
Definitely had a bit of a speedier journey, which was amazing.
Yeah, it is. And not without its challenges too, though, because not only have you got Leo, and of course you've been, you were pregnant. How old is Leo now?
Leo's 5 months old now.
5 months. Gosh, that 5 months has gone.
Just 5 months, yeah.
Yeah. So and of course you were pregnant, and you've got a beautiful little girl as well. So you had that journey while you actually started into this Juice Plus. Then of course working your way through to national marketing director and all of that. So I know that again, it's not all sunshine and roses. Even though you are up there and you are in there and you're always looking gorgeous and you're always putting your best foot forward, but in this environment, we talk about the lessons that we actually learn. What would be the first lesson that you'd like to share with our audience this morning?
Yes. So my first lesson is really just around plugging in, and one of my favorite quotes is "Stay close to the fire," which in our team Lorian says a lot, and I think that it's something that I've always just decided to do. In our larger team, we're really, really blessed, and I'm sure most teams have regular training on top of all of the amazing training that you guys at head office provide. One thing that I always decided was, Monday night team training is a non-negotiable. You've got to watch it. You can't go out to dinner. If it's someone's birthday, you just have to ask them to have it on the Tuesday or have it on the Sunday, because if you really want to, if you really want this to pay you like a business, then you really need to stay close to the fire. And one thing that I've learned is the weeks that I have thought to myself, even, as an NMD, which a lot of people probably think, well, does she really need to watch training anymore? Because I think we all, especially when we start, we look up to NMDs and we think, well, they must know everything and they must be rocking it. They don't need to learn anymore. But that's just so far from the truth, because as Linda says, and hi, Linda, I see you on here, every day is a school day. And I learned very early on that if I couldn't repeat what leaders were saying, if I didn't feel comfortable talking about the product for 10 minutes on an event, if I didn't know how to do the pyramids, if I didn't know how to talk about the popcorn effect and hold an event myself, if I couldn't explain to someone how to get to SDVF, then I needed to be watching training.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I still don't know my points off by heart. I still have my piece of paper because that's just not one of my strong points. I need my piece of paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, staying close to the fire and really committing to the free training that we have every single week.
And I love that, because I know for me as well, right through from the beginning of my career, our main training, and of course it was in person, was a Monday night. And I just felt that it set me up for my whole week. It really did. And there was times when I lived in the Adelaide Hills where it was over an hour's drive to actually get to the training, then do the training for a few hours, and then, drive home again. But it was just again a non-negotiable. That was it. That was just what's in my calendar. And my friends knew that. Everybody knew that Monday night was what was that I did. It was just as if they were going to work. And I likened it. I used to say to some of my team members, just imagine that you had actually gotten a job and you were doing either a night fill in a supermarket, or you were doing the night accounts at a bank or whatever like that. You'd have to actually show up. You actually would have to show up. People wouldn't expect you to not do it because, for example, there was a dinner or whatever. So I do love that, because I think that commitment shows it's we hear it often enough. How we do some things is how we do everything. So we're prepared to commit to the trainings and staying close to the fire. That will flow on in other parts. Yeah, a great point there. Yeah. What's the next one?
The second one, I've got these written down, which is why I'm looking down, because I knew I wouldn't remember them. But be consistent. And, that kind of goes back to number one, which is plugging in. That's part of consistency, but be consistent with the people around you. I think the longer that you're in this business, the more that becomes so important, because when you've been doing the business for maybe 2 months, you think, oh, well, I'm being consistent. I'm posting 2 to 3 times a day. I'm talking to people. 6 months, you probably start to drop off a bit if you're not seeing the results that you hope. Maybe by a year, you're posting once or twice a week about your excitement, because maybe your excitement's getting dulled down. Maybe you're not plugging in so much. Maybe you've lost that spark. And one of the lessons that I've learned along the way is that you need to act as if every single day is the first day of the business, and give that consistent excitement all the time, because otherwise people will forget what you do, or they will question if you're still offering what you do.
Yes.
So, the last thing you would want is for someone to be like, oh, is she still doing that thing? Like, oh, I haven't seen her post about that for a while. Maybe she doesn't need no more team members anymore. Maybe she's got enough.
Yeah.
So if you're not consistent, it's like you can't expect people to know what you're doing if you're not constantly showing them and reminding them about this amazing business, product, community, all those things.
I love that point, because it is so true. Sometimes people will see your successes and then they kind of think, oh, she's already too successful, or she doesn't need any more team or whatever. And then you wonder why they show up in somebody else's team or as somebody else's customer. Next time you talk, oh, I've been on Juice Plus for 6 months. Oh my gosh, who do you get it from? So that's actually really important. One of the things that I love, actually, you thought it at one of the, I think it might have been a 90-day game plan. And I think you actually very kindly might have even shared it in this open group as well.
to help you to be consistent, say, for example, with regards to your posts and all the rest, you have a grid you follow, you know, where you have, you know, you can see what your month is going to look like, and you have your lifestyle posts and your business posts, your family posts, and it's that whole variety. I think, you know, I think that's a fantastic. I loved that when I saw it, because I'm also one that would be kind of think, oh, what are we going to post? You know, and again, it helps with that consistency. Have you put other systems in place to help you with that consistency? Because that's not something that comes naturally for everybody. And that, you know, that was one that I can definitely call out. That was, I thought, was absolutely fantastic. Are there other little reminders that help you to be consistent, especially being a mom of 2 young children?
Yeah. Look, I have my good days and bad days, just like anybody, in terms of posting. And I definitely, probably in the last few months, having Leo, and just, you know, you have your ups and downs. You're not always as good as you could be. But one thing that I do is I commit to a few things every week. So I commit to a bit of content creation on the weekends. So I'm always like, all right, I really need to cook something really healthy. Like, I try to do it a lot. I try to cook my dinners early so that I can take good photos and be inspiring that way. But what I also do is I create a lot of drafts. So say, for example, I'll write out post ideas into my notes in my phone, or I'll save drafts somewhere, so that when I'm time poor, it's not an excuse. Because, like, there are some days where I literally, like, you know, you say, oh, good on you for doing your hair. It's surprising, because most days I could be laying on this bed and just have a baby on top of me half the day. And so you really can't use that as an excuse. And sometimes you don't feel inspired. And sometimes you have days where you definitely can't take a good photo of the food you've eaten, or you don't have a business picture or whatever that you can kind of put out there. So that planning ahead means that if you've got 30 or 40 posts in a note system or in drafts or something like that, then really you just need to have alarms set that say post now. It's a good time. And most of those times are morning, noon, and night. That's kind of the like golden rule. You think about when people are on their downtime, that's when they are scrolling and wasting their time on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, just trying to plan ahead. And I know for me, I've got so many photos in my phone and I forget about them, because they're like 3 months gone by, but they're still great content. So if I've got them separated out into an album or something like that, it just really helps me keep on track and kind of, like I say, just make sure I can be consistent all the time.
I love that. No, I really love that. I think it's great. Okay, lesson number 3. What else have you got on that piece of paper?
Lesson number 3 is stop wasting time following other people in Juice Plus and stop the comparison game. Because I swear to God, and this is totally from love, half the people who like my pictures are other people's team members. Yeah. And I love the support, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish they wouldn't compare to me or anybody else. And I've been in the same position. And it's so great to be inspired by other people. But at the same time, let's just put it this way, if you've got 100 people in your team and then you're friends with all of them on Facebook and that's all you see, then I believe what happens is you start believing that everyone is seeing 100 Juice Plus posts a day. But the reality is they're not seeing 100 Juice Plus posts a day. Only you are. So you think this market's saturated, but it's not. It's because you're friends and you're following everyone in Juice Plus. So
great point. That's a really, really great point.
That's something I try to tell my team all the time. Like, be as, you know, you can be friends with people on Facebook and you can unfollow them so you don't see their news feeds if they're in your team. So you don't need to unfriend them and be awful, but you can unfollow them, especially when you're trying to build and you're trying to see other people. The other problem with following a lot of Juice Plus people is that I feel like people get into that comparison game, and we know that it's really hard. I mean, people might go, well, why didn't I go as fast as that person? Or why aren't I doing this? And the time wasted kind of worrying about that, or going, oh, they just posted, maybe I should have posted. It's just, to me, it's just such one of the biggest time wasting things we can do in this business when it comes to social media. So comparison really is the thief of joy, and you just have to remember that who you are is so special and so appealing to so many people. You don't need to have a certain look or have a certain theme or anything. It's just being authentic. But the problem is when we start looking at everyone else, we start thinking we should be like them instead of being like ourselves.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? This message has kind of, that whole authenticity and being yourself and all that has actually come through quite a bit over this last, over these lives that we've actually been doing. I think that if, you know, again, we're all different. We are all the same. And I think it's important to really embrace who you are, because you will attract your tribe. You know, somebody else's tribe is not actually for you. And having been there, done that early on in the piece, I remember when I became a director with the tubware company, I had this vision of what I thought it was supposed to be like and how to behave and all the rest kind of thing. I killed myself trying to be something else. And one of my mentors reminded me and said, the reason why you are where you are is because you were you. Don't try to be. And once I changed that, it was completely different results, different people that we attracted. It just makes such a huge difference. And I've seen it again within our Juice Plus family, where people do play that comparison game, and it doesn't serve anyone. Be you, come from your pure heart, and you'll be just amazed who you actually attract in, kind of thing. I love that. So stop the comparison game, be consistent, and you know, really remember about being commitment to actually staying close to the fire, making sure that you are plugging in. And like you said, Jess, there's so much out there for people, like between the training that we're trying to bridge the gap with here from a corporate perspective, but also the teams that everybody is in. There's just so much there. There's no excuses for us really not to be able to attend something, is there?
Exactly. And, you know, I always say to my team members, and this isn't something that I came up with, it's something our leaders did, is if you're ever in a position where you're lacking belief in the style of business we're in the product, in yourself, there's so many resources. Number one, GoPro by Eric Worre. Like, that's, you know, one of the Bibles. There's so many things that you can do so simply without needing to say, well, head office hasn't provided it or my upline hasn't provided it. Then you've got YouTube, which, you know, you just Google like how to get better self-belief and you'll have 100 things pop up about that. So you really don't have any excuses in this day and age to be able to get out of anything what you want if you're willing to go and just do the work. And I look at my parents, you know, I say this to people so much. I'm like, our parents didn't have the opportunity to do personal development the way we do. Like, we just put it in YouTube and there's free stuff. You know, it's the same with this business. It's literally handed to us on a platter, not to mention live training. You've got hundreds of recordings. And I think, you know, when you just move into that space of gratitude around all of that and you go, well, this is what I'm doing and I'm just going to like take charge for my own growth, then you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Well, team, I hope that as you're seeing, you know, for everybody out there, that you're seeing that, you know, sometimes we can kind of put our NMDs on a pedestal and kind of think it's all right for them. They've already got there. But what I'm hoping that you're seeing along the journey is that there's a number of themes that are following through. All of these people who have reached that rank of National Marketing Director, which is the top 1% in the world of leaders, have actually done the do. They're committed to making sure that they're showing up. They're making sure that they're consistent with what the activities that they're doing. And you know what? They have good days and they have bad days. They just don't, you know, dwell in those moments. They take responsibility to get back above the line and to show up even when there's a baby asleep in the corner. That too. So we did really well, actually. He's not.
Yeah, he likes the noise, actually. He's a good sleeper.
Yeah, really good. So Jess, before we wind up, any last bit of advice you'd like to leave the team with today?
Look, I probably should have thought about something really remarkable to say, but honestly, the main thing, now I'm like, what can I say that's amazing?
No,
I've got so many things, but the main thing is the belief thing. Like, above anything else, like, if you are not willing to, you know, stay close to the fire and plug in, if you're not being consistent, if you're worrying about what others are doing, pretty much all of that just comes back to that self-belief. In something. It's either the product, the style of business, or yourself, or all of them. And that's been my biggest thing. And I, you know, when I started this, and even recently I have those moments where I think, no, I can't do this. I thought I could, but I obviously can't. You know, we all have that. And I think it's really important to remember that every single one of us goes through those struggles in life. Whether we come across to a public forum as someone who's confident and has belief or not, what we put out there is not always what we are, but don't feel like you're alone when you have those moments. Like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, be open enough to realize, okay, I'm struggling in this area.
Yep.
Where do I need to go and put the work in? Because we're all the same, and it's something that just comes up so often.
Absolutely.
With everyone. And the only time you ever fail is when you quit, and nearly the only time you quit is when you lose belief.
That's exactly right. And it's not being afraid to ask for help. You know, put your hand up and say, okay, I need some help in this area, or some wisdom, whatever. There's a saying, a quote that I love: doubt will take you out of action, but action will take you out of doubt. And it's that same thing, you know, lack of belief will take you out of action, but action will kind of really build your belief. And it is about, it is about that. So Jess, thank you so much, darling. I really, really appreciate, I want to recognize you for, you know, getting, you know, you might fall over, but you get back up and you're plugging in and you're doing it. And it's just the beginning. 2018 is going to be an awesome year, because I know that you've got some goals in place now and some strategies to work forward from here. So looking forward to supporting you on the journey, and thank you so much for sharing with the team today.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be asked to be on here.
It's cool. Excellent. Have a great day.
Everybody.
Give Leo a kiss. Okay, bye.
I will. Bye.